Hi everyone, welcome to Newcastle Fans TV. We've got the whiteboard in just a second, but I'm going to be updating you with the Fan League and see how you've got on last week as well. What is Fan League? Well, Fan League is a prediction app where you have got to get 10 out of 13 of the Premier League and the Championship games right to win money, and if you get 13 out of 13 you win massively. I've already won before, so I've picked up a few bob along the way as well, and you get 2 free games when you play as well when you first download it. There's going to be a link in the description below, so have a look at it and get amongst the fun as well. If you invite your friends as well, if they get 13 out of 13 correct in the app as well, you'll win some of their money as well, which is pretty good. I've almost come close a couple of weeks ago. There's also big YouTubers such as like 442 play it, and DT from Arsenal Fan TV as well. More on him in just a second as well. Right, so how did you get on last week then? Right, a lot of yous joined, but loads of yous are actually missing out being in our league. You've got to join Newcastle Fans TV League to see where we're at. So, for example, Mr. Liam Patterson, yes, you scored 7 out of 13 last week, but where are you in our Newcastle Fans TV League? That would have put you roughly about 2nd or 3rd in the league. You've got to join the league to see it as well. Owen Connolly, you scored 6 last week. You've got to do better. How, Owen? You've got to do better than that, man. I was again top in Newcastle Fans TV. Again, I got 9 out of 13 correctly. So close to getting the cash prize there. So I was a little bit disappointed. I was like, oh. Yeah, so let's have a look at the league table. So, as I mentioned, so I'm top, and then there's a clutch of players like Jack Patterson, Connor Evans, Owen Connolly, all tied in 2nd place with an average of 6. That's pretty poor. But remember, a lot of you became friends of Newcastle Fans TV on the app last week, but you've got to join the league to get in there so it can get you higher. And obviously we want Newcastle Fans TV because there's also leagues in leagues, if that makes sense. So Newcastle have a league average. We need to get that high as well. So this week the scores reset. New players can enter. So if you haven't downloaded the app, get involved. It's based on your score average, not your season. So it all resets again this weekend. Click on the link description down below. As I've already mentioned, you get 2 free game credits in there. Oh, and by the way, if you think you're good enough to take me on, out of 5,759 people who play this app last week, I was 5th. That's how good I am. I'm not blowing my own trumpet, but if you think you can beat us, Howard, bring it on. Love to see us. And Mr. DT, unfortunately, my friend, you were top of the tree. You've now actually joined with me, so DT's actually come down a notch. Can he get back up there? Howard, bring it on. Right, so I'm going to show you my selections, what I'm going for this week. So Everton to win. I think they'll bounce back, you know. I think they will. I think Liverpool will win away to Leicester. I don't think Newcastle will lose this weekend, but as you can see, because what you can do with this app, if you're unsure, you can hedge your bets. So 1's a win, 2's a away win, X is a draw. I've obviously gone for Newcastle number 2, which is a away win, but I've covered the X as well, just in case there's a draw there. You can do that with other games as well. It doesn't have to be Newcastle, but I've covered that as well, amongst that as well. So get involved in it. It's a bit of fun. You'll get 2 free games to play. Invite your mate, you'll get a game free. They'll get a couple of games free as well. After that, it's only 20 pence to play. Link is in the description. You'll be seeing it over social media as per usual in the next day or 2 as well. So get involved in that. Right, so let's get over to the whiteboard, and obviously there's a new look for Newcastle. Right then, let's get on the whiteboard. So there is a new look, as promised last week, but not for the away teams because it's a bit of much of a carry-on. But we've got Brighton. We'll begin with the home side of how I think they're going to line up. It is getting a little bit dark, hence the reason why you might see a few shadows going around. But as I mentioned in the video the other day, they'll play the 4-4-1-1. I think it's too soon for Murray to come in because we know he's just coming back, and I think it might be too soon for Bruno as well. So Ryan in goal. I don't think Tim Krul will play this one. I know he's been permanently signed, which is a bit fishy considering I think there was a loan deal that was already done just to get him out the door. Then the fee was agreed later on. I don't think Krul will play. Rafinha, Duffy, Dunk, Sutner, Sully March on the left, Proper in the middle with Stevens, Anthony Knockaert on the right hand side, Grosh in the number 10, and Hamed I think will play up top as well. So when you look at, if I just get out the way, if you look at Brighton and how they'll set up, you're going to go straight here, aren't you? Straight away, Anthony Knockaert. Now, last season in the Championship, he was up against Paul Dummett, and Paul Dummett got the better of him on both occasions at St James's Park and in the AMX as well. But he is their threat. So as I mentioned also in the video, all their play will come down this flank. So they go down here all the time. So this will give obviously Chancellor and Mbemba, you would think, will continue at left back, but then again Rafa is subject to odd surprise as well, so they'll come down here heavily lot. So it's going to have to be Chancellor and Mbemba, and you probably have to go and ask yourself, if it's a Mbemba against Knockaert, he probably needs a little bit of help. I think he'll do alright, don't get me wrong, but if it's Chris and Atsu's going on that wing, it's not Atsu's going to have to get back as well. Newcastle, without a shadow of doubt, we're going to play on the counter here. So Knockard will obviously come in being left-footed as well. So again, your left centre-back, which is Kieran Clark, is also going to have to talk to Mbemba behind him as well. So that's a threat as well. Now this little fella, Grosh has got, I think it's 2 assists, 2 goals off the top of my head. I might be wrong on that. Brighton fans, do correct me if I am wrong. He's going to play in that number 10. He's got an eye for a goal as well. So I don't think, no disrespect to him, I know he scored in the Premier League, but I don't think it's Premier League quality. But I think Grosh can do a job in the Premier League. So he's obviously going to dart forward, kind of like a Frank Lampard mode where he'll come in late as well. So he'll be arriving in the box in support of Hemad as well. Stevens will protect the defence alongside Proper, but expect Sully March is another one we were linked to about 18 months ago as well. He's got a bit of quality. He'll come in as well. I'm sure at the top of my head is a Toon fan. I can't remember the top of my head, but expect them again. The fullbacks bomb. I know Racina's getting on, but he'll be in support as well because they're quite strong. But I generally think there's a mistake in Duffy. Every time I see him play, it's just something about him where he looks uncomfortable. I think Dunk's a good player, mind you. I think he's fine. He's a good player, but Duffy, I think we can get at him. Whether it's Hoslu, which you probably think it would be, whether it's Gale, but I think he's got a problem. He's got not a problem. He's got an error in him as well. As I mentioned, I don't think it'll be Tim Krul in goal. But expect Brighton to attack us, in particular on that right flank. They'll use Sully March a little bit, but most of the play will come down here. Rafa will know that already. He'll know his statistics as well. So Newcastle's left flank in particular is going to have to be strong. And we will be playing the counter-attacking system. Right, let's get over to the new look Newcastle side. Ta-da! Let's get out of the way for you people. So, what do you think then? Looks a lot more neater, a lot more cleaner, doesn't it? Thanks to Martin, who'd done that for us, absolutely out of the moon at that as well. We'll get on the lineup in the moment. But 2 players I don't think will start is that man, Hoslu, and I don't think Jonjo Shelvey will come in at the side either. So this is the side that I've gone for, then I think that Rafa will probably go for. So there he is, War Rafa in the corner there. So I think you'll keep with Rob Elliott in goal. I think Yedlin will continue. Lascelles and Clark, I don't think you can split them up. And Bemba, as I've mentioned already, continue left back. Hayden and Moreno to continue their partnership in midfield. See, I don't want to break this up because I think those two are okay. He does the dirty work. He brings the ball forward. Richie on the right, but you might see him switch wings with Atsu quite a lot during the game as well. I'm very surprised if Murphy comes in. Perez to come in number 10. There is a little bit of rumours going around that he fancies Diame for this game, and obviously we know he scored that fluky goal last year against them. And I honestly think he'll go for Dwight Gale now. I've got that feeling that he's going to Gale to give a little bit of pace further up top because Rafa knows ruthless. If you don't perform, he'll drop you. As we mentioned, we know that Brighton are going to go up this wing. So first of all, you're going to have to look at Chancellor Mbemba. I don't think Mbemba will get forward much. I really didn't. But obviously I've mentioned with Atsu, Atsu's going to have to come back to help him out because Knockard will be pushing forward. But I think Newcastle will sit really high up. This man, Hayden, will pick up your dirty work, as we know as well. But we know this little man, well, I say little, he's actually quite tall. Mourinho has the ability when he picks up the ball to start bringing it forward, as I touched upon last week. He has that to then nice little slotted passes, and he has that ability. That's something that we should use on the counter-attack. Don't expect Mbemba to get forward, hardly ever. I'd be very surprised if he gets past the halfway line. But Atsu, as I mentioned, and then needs to obviously do his work. Coming on the other side, got no problems with Matt Ritchie. We know that Matt Ritchie can do that, going up and down that wing all the time. So again, he's a busy bee. He runs so hard. He's, as we touched upon that article that we done on Newcastle Fans TV, he doesn't drink. You can see the work rate that he does. He is literally everywhere. His delivery from set pieces, where it's our here or over there, he's got an excellent delivery, corners as well, so he'll be busy. But I think DeAndre Yedlin, now Yedlin was alright at home, we didn't see him get forward much, and I think we need to see this a little bit more from Yedlin in particular, because we could use his pace on the counter, literally as Elliott has the ball, getting it out to say Yedlin, and Yedlin could be bombing on, you know, so you could obviously move Richie, as I mentioned, across. So if we can get Yedlin on the counter, we can then come down this side, because I think Brighton's left side we can target. I really do. You don't want to see Sutton and March defending, do you? So I think we should target, like, both sides are strong on the right hand side as well. Jose Perez, now Perez, you know, some people love him, some people hate him, he gives mixed opinions, but I tell you what though, it's probably the hardest I've ever seen him work. The high pressing in particular at home, he's literally running after the attackers, the midfielders straight away. He's literally on them at home. And I like that. We don't really see it as much away from home because Newcastle sit further deep and invite the team onto them. But Just high pressing work away from home. I wonder if Rafa goes for that on the weekend. I don't think he will. I think he'll bring Perez a little bit further deeper here. I think the reason why I'm going for Dwight Gale is because he come off the bench, and I don't think Hoslo had the greatest game. So Dwight Gale, the reason why I'm saying this is because if we can get through balls, another tactic that Newcastle could use. Yeah, you might say Hoslo might hold the ball up and bring the midfield in and so on, but I think Newcastle, this right flank, Atsu's got to keep an eye on Knockout going backwards and getting the ball over the top to Gale with pace. I think that's two weapons this side, and Moreno come forward, and Gale over the top. Three tactics, sorry. I think Lascelles and Clark, I think those two, they've probably been our best defenders for the last, 6 months? Possibly. I know Lascelles was heavily criticised last season because he had that injury, but these two, they're our first choice. I mean, poor Florian Lejeune can't even get in the side, and he's probably, judging on pre-season, our best technically gifted defender, and he can't get in there. I think Rob Elliott needs to improve his kicking though, because we don't want to see goal kicks going away out there, you know what I mean? So he needs to improve his distribution massively. But Newcastle will play on the counter, and I'm fairly confident. I really am confident, so I think Newcastle can actually nick this. As I mentioned on the other video the other night, Brighton don't score many goals, so expect Newcastle. I don't think we'll get beat. I'm going to put my neck on the line and say Newcastle are going to nick it for a 4th straight win. I'm pretty confident. And also get that Fan League app downloaded. Join the league. It's a bit of fun, As you can see, I'm doing pretty well on it. It's free to play and you get 2 free games as well. But let me know what you think. See you later. Bye-bye.